This is where Johnny Carson lived in the 70s, late 70s, well, all through the 70s. And we used to come up here, never saw him, but we know he lived here. It's 400 St. Cloud. You can look it up. He was the only one of every star, any star, who had a 24-hour guard. And there's the guard shack right there. It's still there. It's a little shack just on the inside of the property. And the main house is behind it. He had tennis courts on the other side. He played a lot of tennis. He was always at Wimbledon every year, and he was at the US Open. And this is where he lived. Probably the most powerful man in Hollywood, arguably. Sonny and Cher lived right across the street, and their dogs were really bothering him. I believe that it went to he can file an official complaint, but I think he made a couple of jokes in his monologue about him, but as I recall. So that's where Johnny Carson lived, passed away. He smoked his whole life, and they finally got him. The cigarettes finally got him, emphysema. He did a lot of good. If you read his story, he wrote checks to people. He never wanted any publicity. He'd read about somebody that needed money in the paper, and they say he'd write a check. Maybe he found God on his boat at the end of his time. If you've watched the documentary on his life, his last years he spent almost entirely alone on his boat. Not even his wife, they said. And he was a very intelligent guy, very informed, obviously. There's the window of the guard shack right inside that gate. And hopefully he found Jesus. He did have Billy Graham on his show one time. And I read he intended to kind of make fun of him, but he ended up kind of impressed. That's what I heard or read. Of course, Billy Graham was a great gospel preacher. So this is St. Cloud Road. I think that's it for today on the Sabbath tour at Johnny Carson's house. Ed McMahon probably went in there a few times. All right.